Okay. All of the headsets should already be connected to the University of North Florida, so you should not have a problem. Right now, it's updating. So once it finishes updating, we'll be able to get to the tutorial. But this is the landing space. It's the virtual hospital, the SimX virtual hospital. And you'll have, this is like like you walked into a hospital with the desk here and everything. But as soon as this updates, we'll be able to get to the tutorial. Okay, I guess I need to update SimX. That tells me I need to go into my platform and update or either open up all of the headsets. But we will get it updated for you. Okay, so now that it's updated, as soon as it finishes, then a menu will pop up and tutorial would be one of the selections. Here we go. So you have search sim groups, custom sim, institution settings. We already put the institution settings in. That's why you're connected to the University of North Florida. Now, and this is where you get to the tutorial. I think you're just doing the basic tutorial. And so now
Welcome
you're
to
in
the
the Army
SimX basic
10th.
tutorial. This tutorial is
you-
self-paced. Feel free to practice each step as often as needed before moving on. Before we get started, take a moment to adjust the fit of your headset so that everything is clear. Throughout the tutorial, whenever you're ready to go to the next section, click the Next button.
And here is your patient, and you're inside the Army tent. This tells you joysticks. We already know because we've already done the other tutorial. These are your joysticks, and these are your triggers. When you press the trigger, which is a little different than first steps, because when you press the trigger with your middle finger in first steps, that's how you make a fist. But in this program, if you press the trigger, that makes a fist. Okay, that's how you grab things. So this is the SimX tutorial, and when you're ready to do, it says to click the next button. So I want to walk over. Hopefully my boundary will pop up, but I'm going to walk over and touch the next button.
Now let's explore the panel. You will use this panel to navigate through the tutorial. The Exit Tutorial button will exit the tutorial. The Replay Audio button will repeat the audio. The Back button will repeat the previous step. The Next button will take you to the next section of the tutorial. You can select the buttons with either controller. Try walking around the environment. A grid will pop up if you are getting near the edges of your play space. Do not go past the grid, as you may run into obstacles. Inside the grid, you can walk around the room just like in real life.
Oop, there it is. Oh, he's not in. I need to pull him. Or maybe I need to make my boundary a little bit bigger. So, but you can do that when you get ready to create your boundary.
You will also see a patient in the room. In SimX scenarios, the patient will respond to your voice questions. However, this functionality is not part of this tutorial. Look around the room. There is also a poster on the wall with a diagram of your controllers. You can reference it at any time.
That's it right there. These are your triggers. And your thumbs are the best part of your body to control the joysticks.
Now that you know the environment, let's practice some hand movements. Try waving your hands in front of you. Though not included in this tutorial, when you're in a scenario with another learner, they will appear as an avatar and you can interact with them. Great! Use your index finger to squeeze the trigger button and make a fist. You will use this action to grab objects later in the tutorial. Walk over to the patient and place your hand on his wrist. You will see a blue bubble called a collider. Colliders appear on patients and tools to indicate that you can interact with them at those spots.
Oh, I feel his pulse. The controller is beating.
Touch and hold your fingers on the patient's wrist collider until the patient's pulse vibrates through the controller. You can also try on the table is a stethoscope. Hover your hand over the stethoscope until it glows green. Press and hold the trigger button to grab it. Releasing the trigger button will return the stethoscope to its original location. Grab the stethoscope and place it on the patient's colliders to hear the patient's heart, lung, and bowel sounds.
I hear his heart. Wow. I hear it. I don't hear anything on the stomach. Okay.
To roll the patient onto their side, place your left hand on the arrow near the patient's left hip. Place your right hand on the arrow near the patient's left shoulder. Now press both trigger buttons on each controller simultaneously to roll the patient over. To roll the patient onto their back, place your left hand on the arrow near the patient's left hip. Place your right hand on the arrow near the patient's left shoulder. Press both trigger buttons on each controller simultaneously to roll the patient onto their back. The patient's clothing is removable. Hover your hand near the patient's shirt until you see it glow green. Then press and hold the trigger button. You will see the folded clothing in your hand. Move your hand away from the patient until it is entirely free from the collider. Then release the trigger button to discard the clothing. You will now see the clothing folded on top of the table.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I guess that's all I'm taking off.
Grab the blanket from the table and you will see a large collider appear on the patient. Touch the blanket to the collider to place it on the patient. Now let's take the patient's vitals. On the table you will see a blood pressure cuff, a pulse oximeter, and cardiac leads.
I guess I put it there. And there. And here. So now I can read his blood pressure, 120/80. There's nothing wrong with you. Get up. His oxygen level and his cardiac rate.
Grab each tool and place it on the collider that appears on the patient. After you place each device, look at the vitals monitor to see the corresponding vitals. Keep in mind that it may take a while for the BP to cycle and show.
Okay.
On the table, you will see an IV, a syringe, and a vial of 0.9% sodium chloride. Now, before you use, you will grab the syringe in one hand.
And I'm going to go ahead and exit the tutorial. I think you get the point. Now, when you exit the tutorial, you're back into the SimX virtual hospital and you see your selection is not there. So what you're going to do is press, there are flat buttons on the controller. You press the flat button on the right hand and it brings this up. And then you quit the application and it takes you back into the immersive home and you're good. You're done. The next person that comes into this we'll have to restart the application. So like if I restart it again, say I put the headset down and I don't do anything else, I click on this, I come back, it restarts the application, and the next person is ready to go in to the tutorial or your custom group, or like if we click here, you know, this just gives, that's how you put in a custom sim group. But if you want to search for sim groups, you can go in here, or your institution settings. So once you load a scenario, then it should be available here for the students. Okay, and I'm gonna press that flat button on my right side. It brings this back up, and now I can quit. And if you want to look, the flat button I'm talking about is that infinity symbol right there next to the A. It's a flat button on the controller. You just press that and it brings this back up. And that's it.